Okay, something is going wrong. Let's see what can we do. What can we do? We expect to get the signal back. Let's go somewhere else to see if we can make it work.
I'm proud to join President Trump and all of my colleagues to stop the chaos at the border, but to also stop the fentanyl that is crossing our border. I thank you for your time and for your attention. We must keep men out of women's sports, and we must stop the chaos at the border and the fentanyl that has come through because of it. Thank you.
Yesterday, President Trump hosted his first official White House visit with a foreign leader in this his second term. And I can't think of a more fitting guest than Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. The message heard around the world from Washington was clear. Israel is our strongest ally in the Middle East, and our support for Israel will not waver. Not now, not ever. Not only has President Trump promised to help bring the war in Israel to an end and the remaining hostages home, but he will also help secure peace for innocent civilians in Gaza. That is the kind of leadership our allies need and deserve after the Biden administration's foreign policy failures over the last 4 years. The president's meeting with Prime Minister Netanyahu also comes on the heels of investigations launched by the Department of Education into 5 universities that enabled anti-Semitism to run rampant on their campuses after the Hamas horrific attack against Israel on October 7th. One of those colleges just happens to be the University of Minnesota Twin Cities campus, which squad member Ilhan Omar visited earlier last year to champion the pro-terrorist, anti-Semitic protests happening across the country and to inspire more movements of hate. The far left's continued embrace of vicious attacks against the Jewish community has shown their true colors. There is no denying that today's Democrat Party is the pro-terrorist, anti-Semitic party. And now that we finally have a real leader in the White House, accountability is here. We've said this before, and we'll say it again. Anti-Semitism has no place in this country. Not in our politics, not on our college campuses, not anywhere. Our House Republican majority, alongside President Trump, and our Republican colleagues in the Senate, will fight every day to ensure that our ally, Israel, is supported. Jewish Americans remain protected, and anti-Semitism is eliminated once and for all. I want to thank President Trump for his leadership on this issue, and I know we're here on Capitol Hill. Those of us that are here on Capitol Hill are also looking forward to watching Prime Minister Netanyahu tomorrow. The time to reassert American leadership on the world stage and stand with our allies is now. With that, I turn it over to our leader, Steve Scalise.
Thank you, Whip. Good morning to all of you. Since Donald Trump took the oath of office on January 20th, you've seen the president work at a feverish pace to deliver on the promises that he made to the American people, to start fixing the problems that were created during 4 years of a failed Biden-Harris agenda. You saw President Trump take action to secure America's border, probably the front and center issue of the campaign. And we're already seeing dramatic results for the American people. You've seen President Trump work to open up more American energy, to lower costs for families. You've seen him work to get cost savings from federal agencies so that American taxpayer dollars are not wasted in so many areas. Go ask USAID how that's working out for them when they have to now be exposed to the fact that they were funding to the tune of millions of dollars drag shows in foreign countries with Americans' hard-earned tax dollars. You're going to continue to see that level of scrutiny and that level of efficiency to get government working for the people again. And so President Trump has continued to work not only in the executive branch, but working with the legislative branch, working with us here in Congress, Just a few days ago, President Trump signed the Lincoln-Riley Act, one of the first bills we moved out of the House because it was a bill that also fit not only with our agenda. We passed this bill last year. Chuck Schumer made it clear he didn't want to bring a bill to the Senate floor that actually stood up for people so that they're not victims of violence from illegals. Well, this new Senate under John Thune and the Republican leadership brought that same bill through the Senate and put it on President Trump's desk where he signed it. Just goes to show the American people how much difference it makes when you get leaders who actually will fight for them, not for Washington and the old guard, the progressive Democrat Party that's so out of touch with the American people. Today, President Trump will sign an executive order to do something that we already passed through the House, and that is to say that men can't play in women's sports. You know, this is a bill we passed through the House twice now, almost on a party line vote, which seems bizarre. It should be something that everybody agrees to. It was talked about a lot during the election, and most Americans are with us in saying that women's sports should be reserved for women, biological women. President Trump will be signing that executive order today as the bill we passed hopefully goes through the Senate so it can become law in a permanent way. So we're going to continue to work with this president to deliver on those promises. A lot of those promises that we're working to deliver on are going to go through the budget reconciliation process. And I know y'all are following that closely. We've been working very closely with our membership. You know, we got into very specific detail at our retreat in Doral, where we shared with our members a lot of specifics of what the committees are working on. There are 11 committees of jurisdiction that are working on the details of budget reconciliation, but of course none of that can start until you pass the budget, until you open up the ability to do a reconciliation bill. And this year with a more narrow majority, unlike 2017 where we lost 22 Republicans on the budget, we don't have that luxury this time. And that means we've got to work very meticulously with our members to first make sure we have the votes to get a budget passed, and we can't have 22 opposing, we can't have 4 opposing. And so we're working through a lot more detail now on what reconciliation would look like on the front end before we actually get the budget passed. But we're working to get it done, and it's critical we get it done, to have more border security, to be able to deliver on better energy policy that lowers costs for families, to make sure there's no tax increase on working families across the country. So there are a lot of things that we're going to work to achieve and get done, along with real savings for the taxpayers of this country. And then, of course, this week we're going to continue moving our agenda, the Stop Fentanyl Act. You've heard about that. And, you know, Monica Dela Cruz is on the front line. She told you what it means to a district like hers to have this deadly poison coming into our country. President Trump laid this out when he issued more tariffs, using that as a weapon to get countries to work with us better on stopping the fentanyl. And you're seeing some of those countries actually
Madame, monsieur, n'a pas excusé nous près de vous pour couper ça. C'est juste des difficultés techniques que nous avons essayé de remédier. Et puis nous avons retourné et avec d'autres informations pour vous sur le réseau pour la Pstars, radio-télévision. Et comme nous t'ai annoncé où, nous avons gagné pour nous aller